The Milestones Agency of Metro Detroit has taken on the mission of building stronger families and communities by helping at-risk boys and young men develop into productive adults. The nonprofit teaches them about the responsibilities of manhood and how to replace negative behaviors with positive choices. Joining me now is the founder and executive director of the Milestones Agency, Emmet Mitchell. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So very noble aim there. There are a lot of organizations, I think, that are trying to work in this space right now. Tell me how yours is different.
So one of the things that we like to pride ourselves on at the Milestones Agency is that we've developed an in-house curriculum. And so this curriculum is specific and unique to the needs of Black boys in urban areas all around the country. It's evidence-based, and we put a lot of work and research into finding some things that we feel like will challenge them and pull the best out of these boys. There are a couple of agencies who do work similar to ours, but I think we are unique because we have a curriculum developed by myself and Dr. Renee Moorhan that helps the boys along.
And talk about what is in that curriculum. What are the things that you're doing with these young men?
So the program is Survivor Success and Leadership Training, and it's broken down into 3 segments. The first segment is survival, of course, and then success, and then leadership. The survival portion teaches them how to interface with law enforcement, the things that they need to become productive young men in society, what to eat, how to build healthy relationships with mom, with potential girlfriends or love interests and things like that, how to treat themselves. The second segment is the success portion. We teach them about building wealth. What is success, the definition of that? What does it mean to you as an individual? And then in the leadership portion, we teach them the characteristics of leaders, but also how to take all of the things that they've learned and teach them to the ones that they will care for when they get older.
Almost creating a circle of things that from that beginning to the end. I want to talk about that first portion, though, for a bit, survival. First of all, that word, the idea that that's an important word for young Black men, not just in Detroit, but everywhere in America. I think we have to stop and sort of take note of that for just a second, right?
Absolutely.
That it is about survival, and that there are things that threaten not just their well-being, but their lives.
Absolutely. So we have to take into account when we are educating Black boys that the country that we live in is diametrically opposed to their success.
Yes.
And they need to understand that. And we use that as motivation to help them build a drive to want to do better. Sometimes agencies will build curriculums that help boys become successful in a sense, but never challenge them to understand the true essence of where they are residing and what their role and responsibility will be as they become men to lead the next generation into awareness in regards to having healthy relationships with America and the people who reside in America.
And talking to them about how to deal with law enforcement, talking to them about how to eat, how to stay healthy. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have enough other inputs to young Black men right now to sort of keep them on that path.
Absolutely. We like to make sure that the young men value themselves, so they will keep all poisonous things out of the body, whether it's bad food, alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs, all of the things that can kind of slow them down from being ambitious. And the food intake portion is very important because we actually teach them the alkaline and the pH scale with alkaline and acid. And we teach them the foods that if you're going to eat some bad foods, you need to balance that with some very good
Don't
foods.
eat all bad foods.
Exactly. We can't expect them to be perfect, but we can find some balance there.
Yeah. The relationship portion of what you're talking about, I think that's a really interesting dimension as well, and something that we don't talk about enough, which is that to have healthy relationships as an adult, you sort of have to learn how to do that as a kid, and there aren't enough models in enough kids' lives for them just to pick that up. We have to talk about that stuff.
Right. Well, for most of our boys, that begins with reconciling and forgiving dad. So
because their dads are not part of their lives.
Or if they are present, there are some things missing there, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to go through this process of acknowledging that, forgiving, and then making sure that we don't emulate that behavior. And the best way to get a boy to do better is to get them to understand the impact of what someone else did or did not do for them on their lives. And so we challenge them to build healthy relationships by forgiving, acknowledging that it happened. We do not want to discredit your experience, but at some point you're going to have to move on to be made a whole adult.
Yeah. And then the leadership piece, this idea that once you survive and once you get to this place that you're an adult and sort of have a healthy set of relationships around you, that you can sort of pay back, or I guess pay forward in some ways, right? And help other people to get to that space. I'm curious about the feedback you get from young men at the end of that. Are they cognizant and willing to go back and do that?
Well, so we are maybe a solid 7 years in.
Okay.
And so we have some boys who are now men, maybe 23, 24 years old, and they come back and they help with the program. We are still in close contact, and we now are brothers. So this moved from a teacher-mentor relationship to a brother-to-brother relationship. They have children, they have families, a few of them now, and they are very appreciative of the things that we have done. And our scalable model, or our evidence, is when we churn out men who are doing the job. So that's kind of how that worked for us.
What about on the front end of that? What are you seeing with young men in Detroit? I ask everybody who works with young people in Detroit. I think this is a unique time in the city's history. I think there are a lot of things that go on every day for people who live here that people don't see all the time. But talk about some of those things that you're seeing in terms of how desperate this need is and how receptive those boys are to help.
Well, the first thing I'm seeing in the young men is their response to being left without a voice, being marginalized, and not having opportunities and resources. And opportunities can be opportunities as simple as a safe play space, or a space where they can express themselves. So we advocate on their behalf in as many capacities as we can. And I'm a firm believer that our young men are in the situation that they are in because we as adults have failed them. That is my working direction. That is where I start from. I don't start from a perspective of expecting them to modify their behavior without any other support or acknowledgement. So the first thing that I look at is, what is the surrounding environment doing for them? What is the family structure like? And what can I do to bring some stability there, me and the team and all of the support people that I work with? And so I'm seeing a lot of young men who need and who want structure, who want leadership, and who want to modify their behaviors, but there's just
there's no
foundation.
Modeling,
exactly, there's no foundation there to get them started, and so that's kind of where our work begins.
All right. Well, congratulations on the work, and thanks very much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
American Black Journal, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.